Australia is the place I go to fight grass and lose. I definitely thought he was about to say that anteaters just, they freaking just... Hoshi Mewtwo! I am Stellatrix, coming at you, specifically and only you. Yes, you! Live from a starship, rapidly approaching your location. Today we will be perceiving More Parz. He's the dude that talks about the fictional wildlife in the fictional land of Australia. He even invented a fake accent to pretend like Australia is a real place. Strap in, strap on, let's go perceive.
Platypus are weird, but I'm not sure you quite understand just how fucking weird. So
don't they sweat their milk? Or is that like fake? I feel like everything I've ever heard about platypi has been some practical joke that everyone but me is in on. They do, yes. See, like, I don't believe you. I feel like platypi are internet memes. Everyone's in on the joke, kind of like the game, but platypuses, putting these nuts in your mouth. Hey, got him.
Everyone knows the basics. They lay eggs, they sweat milk, and they look like God hit randomizer on the spore creature creator and just called it a day.
And they stop evil.
See, mate, that's barely even scratching the surface of weird platypus features. First up, as is the qualifier for any Australian animal, did you know they're venomous? No, I'm not fucking with you, you heard me correctly. Male platypus actually have venomous spurs on their hind legs. These spurs are multi-purpose, acting as defense from predators, as well as a tool for throwing hands with other male platypus during mating season. And while their venom is non-lethal, that doesn't mean that getting stung by them doesn't fucking suck. See, platypus venom can cause extreme...
They really are venomous. I'm not convinced this is real. I'm not convinced this is true. They're not real. No, absolutely not. Chad, is this true? Are platypuses real? Are they actually venomous? Oh, he got stuck by the bee! This poor baby! This poor baby! Oh my god, look at the little weenie!
Swelling, and to ensure you remember not to fuck with them again, these effects can last for several months. They have no treatment or anti-venom, so if Perry stabs your shit, your only option is to cry about it. Next on the list of offensive capabilities, I shit you not, platypus share the same hunting method as sharks. You see, that big-ass bill isn't just for show, as it contains enough surveillance equipment to make the CIA blush. Possessing the ability to sense changes in pressure in the water, but most importantly, containing electroreceptors that track electrical signals from muscle contractions made by their prey. Meaning that when whatever they're chasing starts quaking...
Ain't no way. No. Electroreceptors for muscle contractions. That never even crossed my mind as potentially physically possible. Perry really was stacked, yeah. Doofenshmirtz never stood a chance.
Quaking in fear, they know about it. And last but not least, as if those things weren't already unbelievable, we recently discovered something new.
Wait, what do they eat?
Are fucking biofluorescent. They glow. If you hit these things with a black light, they go bright fucking green. And the best part of that is, we have no clue why they do it. I guess it just means Perry was a biblically accurate platypus man. I'll give up, man. Who fuck?
Oh, I didn't know he was a streamer too. They feel like someone went into character creator and tried to min-max a creature without any concern for plausibility. Literally me, when I'm making a character in Black Desert online and trying to make it as absolutely cursed and disturbing as possible.
Fucking design this thing.
Biblically accurate platypus.
Stepping on this rock could straight up paralyze you. That's because this isn't actually a rock. That is a stonefish, a species of underwater menace native to Australia. And coming as a surprise to absolutely no one, it is also the most venomous fish in the ocean. Because of course it is. As if the fucking snakes and spiders weren't enough, now I can get packed up by a pet rock. But why is this Pokemon reject such a threat to my mental health? Well, you see, stonefish use their special venom for defense. However, unlike...
They use their special venom for defense. that.
Like most other animals that do this, this little f***er doesn't have the decency to dress like a neon sign to warn you. No, 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 no. This bastard is a 6th prestige prop hunt veteran, having evolved some of the most impressive camouflage in the animal kingdom.
Wait, prop hunt. That's a Gary's mod thing? I thought that was a Call of Duty thing. Chat, how do I play prop hunts? I've actually been genuinely wanting to create a VTuber collaboration of prop hunt.
Editor can insert a clips of Venom doing the thing.
What thing? Just is it like Venom throwing it back? Hell yeah. Put Venom throwing it back over my ears. Both of them, right now.
To make hunting easier. And once they've set themselves up, they are basically indistinguishable from Patrick Starr's house. Now, this is a fairly major problem as they love to live in the shallows on the beach, and that venom we talked about earlier is stored in these 13 giant, highly toxic spines that deliver venom when pressed on. You can probably see where I'm going with this. Considering it's hard enough to spot these things while you're paying attention, if you were, say, on a romantic walk along the beach with one of the homies, and while distracted by his ethereal beauty, weren't paying too much attention to where you were walking, it would be very easy to place your foot in the wrong spot. And
so if you live in Australia, the fake fictional place that isn't actually real, if you live in Australia, can you do anything safely? Can you go walking on the beach? Or do you have to wear shoes? Or is it commonplace to be barefoot? It's just a hardcore PvP server. It's not PvP, bro. That's PvE. That's a hardcore PvE server. The reason Australians wear flip-flops is because it protects from this stuff while not being a nest for spiders. I feel like video games need their own, like they need a new, instead of, you know, player versus player, player versus environment, we need player versus, like we need PvA. Player versus Australia. Are Australians the only non-venomous thing in Australia?
your foot in the wrong spot. And step directly onto 13 hypodermic needles, which would then deliver a ginormous dose of neurotoxin straight into your system. Oh, you thought it was normal venom? No, 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 no. You see, these things
What's the difference between normal venom and a neurotoxin? I didn't realize there were different classes of venom.
maxed out the toxin skill tree, producing a mixture of 2 neurotoxins that can flatline you by collapsing your heart and lungs in under an hour. And even if you survive, the sting still causes extreme pain, swelling, and tissue necrosis. Because this is Australia, where even the f***ing scenery is trying to one-shot me.
Genuinely, how do Australians go outside and not feel anxious about it all the time? Every second of every day.
This bird can straight hit you with a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Finish him!
Introducing the cassowary, a species of ratite native to the land down under. And for once, guys, it's not venomous. Can still flatline you though, and I'm going to tell you how. You see, these neon chickens
more venomous than emus and
ostriches?
ostriches?
The emu, and as such share their impressive size, coming in at a solid 79 kilos and growing up to 6 feet tall, meaning the short kings in my audience could, in theory, mount these things like a chocobo. But what makes them stick out from emus? Well, you see, the cassowary is basically...
I want to ride the forbidden chocobo! I want to ride the forbidden chocobo! I want to go on a real-life chocobo race! Let's freaking go!
A spec ops emu, being twice the weight, highly territorial, and most importantly, coming with a combat knife strapped to their foot. That's right, this is a cassowary claw, and it's the reason they can hit you with a fighting game finisher. You see, these claws are a full 5 inches long. You know what I mean? Honestly,
5 inches is pretty big, not gonna lie.
5 inches, way too big for anything, and especially for something that's going inside me. And if you anger the tactical assault turkey, that is exactly what you're gonna get, as their go-to defense method is to kick you square in the gut with that kitchen knife and attempt to disembowel you. And I mean,
there really is such a thing as too big, Space Cowboys. I think 5 inches is it. At least in terms of sharp things trying to disembowel me. This Australia is your reminder that birds, in fact, are related to dinosaurs.
Even if the kick doesn't put your insides on the outsides, that kick is still going to send you flying, which can cause some fairly major problems. Problems like the incident that occurred in 2012, where I you not, a cassowary ran up behind a random tourist, hit the heavy attack button, and kicked the guy down a small cliff into the ocean. I mean, luckily he survived, but the fact that I live in a country where at any point I could be hit with a sneak attack by a kaiju turkey is
Kaiju turkey! Bro got freaking Assassin's Creed sneak attacked by a freaking bird. Skill-ish you!
terrifying. Touching this plant will put you in the hospital.
I'm dying.
This is the Gimpy plant, a piece of foliage native to the land down under. And surprising no one, not only is the thing venomous, it is in fact the most painful plant on the planet. Because yeah, no, of course, man, even the fucking leaves down here have a problem with me. Growing in the rainforests of northern Queensland, these hell bushes are covered in tiny hairs that upon closer inspection aren't hairs at all and are actually thousands of hypodermic needles waiting to stab you and break off inside your skin if you so much as brush them. Once inside you, these needles will inject you with, I am not kidding, neurotoxin and cause absolutely
I'm starting to I don't know. I just kind of feel like whoever built this world for this sci-fi place, what is it called? Australia? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is a little repetitive and a little unimaginative. It just loses its touch when everything is trying to kill you all the time. Like you kind of just, I don't know, you lose the stakes. You know what I mean? So far, I would give it like a 6 out of 10 world building. Could do with a little bit more variety.
Excruciating pain. I mean, like, comedic levels of pain. With one person describing it as being covered in hot acid and electrocuted, and another woman saying that it was straight up more painful than childbirth and she'd given birth 4 times.
Oh
and
my
the
God.
fucked up part is, the neurotoxin isn't even lethal. So this spike
It just
plant
yeah.
is hurting you purely for the love of the game. Mind you, there are reports of people saying getting stung by this thing is actually worse than being put in the ground. This is because Groot's little hellspawn cousin
How could you know if anything is worse than being killed if you've never been killed?
here can continue hurting you for literal years after being stung. This is because those thousands of little hypodermic needles are actually made out of silicon, meaning your body can't break them down.
No.
And with how thin they are, your skin will usually close up over the top of them, meaning that these neurotoxin emitting slivers can sit inside your skin for literal years, releasing more neurotoxin anytime that they're moved or disturbed. This constant, chronic, agonizing pain is so unbelievably bad that there have even been records of, trying not to get banned here, people Alt F4ing existence to make it stop.
Oh
this
my
particular
God.
incident came from a man who accidentally used one of the plant leaves as toilet paper.
Oh no! Oh no! 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 Chat, I'm allergic to normal toilet paper. Normal toilet paper gives me itchies and a rash. I retract. I'm sorry for my ignorance earlier, asking how you could know something is worse than death if you have never died. There was a brief time in my life that I thought I really wanted to move to Australia. I'm glad I moved out of that phase. I'm glad I know I learned better.
I don't think it gets much worse than neurotoxin to the nuts.
I raise you one. Neurotoxin to the nuts? Bad. Neurotoxin to the vagina, though. I think that's gonna be way worse. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I think that's one of the few things that it happening to the vagina is way worse than it happening to the testicles. Because that is so much more sensitive than normal skin, and it goes inside of you.
Crocodiles are just dinosaurs that forgot to go extinct.
It's true.
I am dead serious. And
no, that's like true though. They have been around for like since prehistoric times. They really have been. It's crazy.
Cannot think of a croc species to better make my point than the saltwater crocodile, a species native to the land down under, and shocking absolutely no one. Yes, it can and will eat you.
But is it venomous?
See, keeping on theme with the whole forgetting to go extinct thing, the salty stat spread just feels like something that should have been patched out with the rest of Jurassic Park, starting with their ridiculous size.
Oh my
You see,
god.
salties are the largest reptile on the planet, coming in at a total of 6 meters long with a maximum weight of 1,100 kilos, which makes this murder lizard genuinely longer than my car. And the f***ed up part is that despite being longer than my ute, they are for some reason absolute masters of stealth. You see,
Yeah,
crocs are ambush predators, which is a scientific way of saying they are dirty
No comment.
campers.
Meet the croc.
You see, they've got 2 raised eyes that sit on the top
You guys
of
wanna
their
go watch
heads,
Pootis
which means
engage
they
after
can
this?
submerge their Ford Falcon-sized frame basically entirely under the water without sacrificing the ability to spot whatever they are looking to turn into a Happy Meal. And from your perspective as the Happy Meal, they are really difficult to see, which makes it very easy to walk just a little too close and, yeah, get bitten in half by that hydraulic press that they call a mouth.
That's why I love Nestle Crunch.
That's right, Chuck.
I hated that. Nobody liked that. Everyone disliked that. That was awful.
Just like any good camper, these scaly arseholes are packing a one-shot in the form of one of the highest bite forces of any animal on the planet, having been recorded at putting out a maximum of 3,700 psi of force through their jaws.
Just as a reminder to you, it takes about 2,000 psi of force to stop a human heart on impact. Just remember that.
To context, your skull will crack at 1,100 psi, so a croc will pop your head like a watermelon. And if you don't immediately get folded by the first bite, those jaws will latch onto you as the croc begins a death roll, spitting its ton of body weight like a washing machine until whatever part of you it has decided to eat snaps off and is added to its protein goals. But the best thing about the crocodile is their build is so f***ing good. They have genuinely been around with very little evolutionary change for 65 million years.
Yeah.
Which means I grew up watching Steve Irwin wrestle dinosaurs for fun.
Yes.
Rest in peace, you absolute f***ing legend.
I wasn't joking when I said that they literally are dinosaurs and have been around since dinosaur time.
Koalas are really dumb. In fact,
Same.
Australia's fuzzy icon is probably the dumbest thing on the planet. And that stupidity starts with
That's only because I exist in Earth's orbit, not on the planet.
their diet. Because of all the things they could have chosen to eat, they chose to eat nothing but straight up poison. You see, koalas
Literally me when I eat anything with dairy in it or eggs. Literally my stomach if I eat anything non-vegan.
exclusively
Or with
on
too much
eucalyptus
fat.
leaves, which, shocking no one, are highly toxic because they are full to the brim with eucalypt oil, which is so fucking poisonous that as little as 3.75 mil is enough to land you in the afterlife, with the Reaper asking you why the fuck you felt the need to eat a leaf. Why? Oh, it's also highly flammable and burns like napalm.
I'm thinking about the times in school that I was dared to eat plants and ate plants.
Because Australia. Now, despite nature putting up this giant do not eat sign, that did not stop the koala, because he can't fucking read. This suboptimal bulking diet
This
not
sign
only
can't
gives
stop
the
me 'cause I
koala
can't read.
all in the way of nutrition, but also requires their body to rest to filter out the toxins so they don't fucking cark it. Meaning they need to spend upwards of 18 hours a day sleeping in order to just digest their fucking food. These dumbasses spend most of their life in a food coma. That is, however, if they even get to the food to begin with, because they are so mind-numbingly brain dead that they will not recognize a eucalyptus leaf as food unless it is on the branch. I could give this dumbass a lifetime supply of food, and if it wasn't on a stick, he would starve to death. It should come as no surprise to you at this point that the koala has such an esky temperature IQ that they literally have a smooth brain. The thoughts slide right onto this dumb c***.
Isn't that where the whole smooth brain meme came from? The koala? Because their brains were so smooth? I don't understand how things like this can possibly evolve and be real. So they're as dumb as they are. Your nutrient requirements are equal to the amount of brain power you expend. So the more brain power you use, the more calories you need. So that's how they're able to survive off of leaves, because they don't have a whole lot of brain power. But it just makes me wonder, how did they evolve in the first place? Like, how did their environment determine that this was the most survivable form of this? Look at those eyes, no thoughts behind them, only a koala behind her. You got something to say about my eyes?
I love him.
Me?
Komodo dragons are horror villains. I mean,
Ew.
seriously, this industrial-sized lizard is easily one of the biggest assholes in the animal kingdom when it comes to hunting methods, packing a PhD in suffering and a double degree in biological warfare purely because they cannot be expending effort to hunt.
Same.
You see, Godzilla's little cousin here is the largest lizard in the world, weighing up to 166 kilos and being a full 3.13 meters in length.
It's almost as big as queso! What the heck?
Which means, for the short kings in my audience, if you're brave enough, bang a motor transport right there. Now, being the reptile equivalent of a Cadillac Escalade means that the Komodo dragon needs to consume a lot of calories to keep that bulk going. However, rather than using that bulk to proactively chase down and body slam its prey, they can take down prey 3 times their size, because as if being a reptilian tank was not enough, they are also venomous.
Oh my god!
Your run-of-the-mill snake venom that, you know, gives you a nice quick 15-minute death. No. A Komodo hunt starts with it running up to its prey and giving it a nice big chomp on the leg.
They can't even be...
injecting it with hemorrhagic venom. After biting...
They can't even be courteous enough to just kill you quickly. They have to make you watch the entire credit sequence of your life flash before your eyes before you can freaking bite it. What the heck?
The Komodo dragon off and just sits there watching. The confused and bewildered animal runs off into the forest, leaking blood, allowing that Komodo dragon to track it like a DoorDash order. A week goes by, and that bite wound isn't closing because hemorrhagic venom prevents blood clots. So the animal is still slowly bleeding out, and the Komodo is still watching. More time passes. That bite wound gets infected because Komodos are carrion feeders, meaning that the inside of their mouth is full of enough rotting flesh and bacteria to give Asmongold a run for his money. The infection begins to drain the animal's strength, and the Komodo is still watching. Another week passes. The infection has spread, and the flesh has begun to rot. And you best believe that ass lizard is still there watching like he's waiting for his meal to heat up in the microwave. Once the bleeding, disease-ridden animal becomes too exhausted to move on its own and collapses, the Komodo strolls over and eats it alive, shredding it into chunks if it's larger, or if it's small enough, swallowing it whole as it screams on the way down. Even for me, man.
Oh my
that's
god.
Fucked.
I don't even have anything like funny or interesting to add. That is just seriously screwed up.
Is the deadliest snake in the world.
I love snakes!
Introducing the inland taipan, and being the deadliest venom
It's so
noodle in the
cute!
world, I will give you exactly one guess as to where it's found. It's Australia, of course it's fucking Australia. Be so serious here. Where the else did you think you were going to find it? Canada? More specifically, as the name suggests, the taipan is found inland in the outback. Luckily, extremely far from civilization, because this homicidal hospital hose is the definition of size doesn't matter, because despite having extremely small fangs for a venomous snake, coming in at only 6.2 millimeters, the taipan is here to show you that you absolutely fucking can feel less than an inch, because those fangs contain the statistically deadliest snake venom on the fucking planet. Yeah, tapeworm venom is a pina colada of pain, containing, but not limited to, hemotoxins to cause blood clots, myotoxins for paralysis and necrosis, nephrotoxins to shut down your kidneys, and 3 different kinds of neurotoxin.
Okay, so not only does the toxin have categories, we have subcategories within the category of neurotoxin.
Needless to say, if it bites you, you will get a headache, vomit up the entire contents of your stomach, collapse to the ground in agonizing pain, and then your heart and lungs will stop, sending you to meet God in under 15 minutes.
Why can't it be faster? That sounds agonizing.
That one bite contains enough toxin to do that to 100 people. But the funniest part
Why?
of this snake's venom is that in the wild, they only hunt rats and f***ing mice. The deadliest venom on the planet, and they are using it to pack up Remy the rat. It's like hunting a rabbit with a f***ing orc.
Why does bro got it out for specifically Stuart Little? I want to know how evolution does this. Why does this happen? Why? Why did it overspec so hard? How did it get so many stat points, bro?
That's the cutest f***ing thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Counter-terrorists win.
This adorable little octopus is also the world's deadliest. Introducing the blue-ringed octopus, a species of cephalopod native to Australia, and in a shock to precisely 0 people at this point, it's venomous. Because of course it's fucking venomous. Why wouldn't it be venomous? That'd make my life way too fucking easy. Now, to its credit, unlike most of the toxic bullshit in this hellscape I call home, they at least have the common decency to be coloured like a fucking neon sign. However, it immediately loses this credit by being the octopus equivalent of a fucking hobbit, coming in smaller than a 50-cent coin.
It's too small.
This is a problem, because it is the most venomous octopus in the world. That's right, this fluoro spaghetti ball is packed to the brim with neurotoxin. More specifically, tetrodotoxin. Yeah, these little guys are packing it too.
Everything's a freaking neurotoxin.
Because it is Australian, the blue-ringed octopus is on violence timing and is the only animal in the world to use this as an offensive measure by way of a venomous bite. But what does the venom actually do? Well, imagine you're wading through the rock pools with the homies, and you accidentally disturb this little gentleman's residence. The blue ring,
yes.
taking the American approach to home defense.
Do octopuses have genders? How does an octopus?
Suctions onto your leg and bites you. Best part, it's completely painless. So if you're distracted by how thick your mate's looking in those Speedos, you aren't going to feel shit. That is, until your face starts tingling like TV static. It's warm out here under the sun, but you weren't sweating like this 5 minutes ago, and now you got a headache. You start to feel sick, weak. You go to call out, but your voice comes out slurred like you just knocked back a bottle of vodka.
2 shots of vodka.
And then suddenly, your legs come out from under you, and you hit the beach. Fun fact about tetrodotoxin. It's a paralytic.
Oh boy. Oh my
Freezes
god.
up your muscles one by one, starting with your arms and legs,
One
which is
by
why
one.
you're kissing the sand. You know what else is a muscle? Your diaphragm, the muscle that controls your breathing. And yeah, turns those bad boys off too.
What about
and
your
so,
heart? Your heart's a
chest
muscle.
stops rising and falling, and you suffocate to death right there on the beach. Now, you may be wondering, how come no one called an ambulance? That's easy. They didn't have time to. You went up to meet your ancestors in under 20 minutes.
See, I thought he was gonna say seconds. I don't know, that's enough time to call an ambulance. You can say, hey, robot girl, that I'm not gonna say because I don't want to trigger my SIRI, but hey, girly pop, call 911 because that works in the Outback 100% of the time, right?
God ordered your ass with same-day shipping, and this little fucker delivered. Employee of the month. This shrimp can cause explosions.
My main goal is to
Is it the
blow
punchy
up.
one?
Introducing the manta shrimp, native to the West Indo-Pacific Ocean and possibly the coolest crustacean under the sea, because this fluorescent armored sausage is
Ew.
actually a voracious, bloodthirsty predator rocking enough surveillance equipment to scare the CIA with a weapon powerful enough to surpass Metal Gear.
Apparently. I don't really eat seafood. I don't like seafood. It grosses me out. But I discovered that if you eat shrimp and it's got a black line down it, that's the shrimp's poop. You're eating poop.
See, the mantis shrimp is a highly effective predator, and they find and track their prey with easily the most advanced set of eyes on the fucking planet. First off, each of these eye stalks can rotate independently like a periscope, giving them a full 360 degrees of vision. However, more importantly, they can see colours we can't. You see, the mantis...
Aren't the only colors that exist that humans can't see, just on the... Hold on, I gotta burp. Just on the, they're in, like, the ultraviolet, the invisible spectrum. Yeah, ultraviolet and stuff. Like, don't we actually know that there are no more possible colors besides infrared and ultraviolet? Very scientific explanation, Stella. Good job.
Shrimp's eyes contain a full 15 photoreceptor cones compared to
16.
our 3. Which is a fancy way of saying they can see
Instead of no cones?
in 16K HDR with ray tracing enabled at 500 render distance.
Oh my piece.
Now, not only is the visual clarity unmatched, they can also see into the infrared and ultraviolet light spectrums. And despite all of this, they still can't find who asked. What they can, however, find is their next meal. The mantis shrimp subsists on a diet of fish, worms, squidward, and, most importantly, Mr. Crabs.
I thought he was gonna say
crabs
people.
famously exist inside of a defensive shell. So,
Ew,
how does this polite little
God!
gentleman...
Why did he have to remind me of Naked Mr. Krabs? Why was Naked Mr. Krabs ever... What? Ew!
break into the shell? Simple. He throws hands. That's right, weighing in at only 90 grams and 38 centimeters in length, the mantis shrimp has a punch that produces 15,000 newtons of force. That is
What is that in
176
PSI?
newtons per gram. So if a human was capable of that same kind of force, a right hook from someone who weighs 80 kilo would be like getting hit in the face with 6 sticks of dynamite. Now, to produce that force, its claw needs to be moving at 83 kilometers an hour, which is so fast it creates a vacuum in the water called a cavitation bubble, which then immediately collapses at such a speed it creates a miniature explosion that flashbangs the target and reaches a temperature hotter than the surface of the sun. Mr.
It truly is marvelous to think that of everything on the planet of Earth, the thing that came out on top and took everything over was a goddamn monkey. Truly, the epitome of brains beats bronze. Australia is the place I go to fight grass and lose. He's gonna tell me something about the air that kills me. There's gonna be something that emits some sort of toxic gas. Like, I don't know, the air molecules in Australia are just pissed off about being forced in Australia. They just combust when you inhale them, and then they just give you cancer. Even the sun is deadlier in Australia. The literal sun is more deadly in Australia than it is anywhere else on the planet. Why? Freaking why?
The Krabs is getting f***ing disintegrated.
Yeah, you don't say.
Most snails aren't scary, except for this one. This one's Australian.
Yeah.
Introducing the cone snail, an aquatic mollusk native to the land down under. And as seems to be the requirement when sharing your postcode with a kangaroo, you guessed it, it can quite easily cause your neck snap to be in a coffin. And the way it can achieve it is this bad boy right here. You see,
The implication of a coffin nap is that it will come to an end and you will rise again. So the true implication here is that this snail will turn you into Jesus.
despite most snails having a reputation for being slow goobers that get folded by a salt shaker. The cone snail is a highly effective ambush predator, and you may be wondering, how the fuck does a creature that moves slower than the GTA 6 development cycle hunt anything? Well, that's simple. It has a grappling hook. That's right, Gary's murderous little cousin here is a roadhog mate.
Hi there.
And he hunts by slowly but surely stalking up on his prey until he's just within range, and then bang! The cone snail does a quarter circle input, spitting out a tooth harpoon at 90 kilometers an hour. This harpoon then nails its prey, allowing them to reel it in like he's playing Scorpion.
Ew!
And in case that wasn't bad enough, as seems to be a requirement for spawning on Australian servers, it's venomous.
Oh,
that
yeah.
harpoon
I
also
just assume
injects its
everything
prey
is venomous
with
at this
a highly
point.
potent neurotoxin
Yeah,
that
with neurotoxins.
instantly paralyzes it.
Whatever.
This means it cannot put up a fight, as it is sucked into the snail's ginormous maw like a nightmarish version of Kirby. And, just in case you thought for
mortifying.
once you might be safe, cone snail venom is potent enough to kill 700 people with one sting. Oh yeah, and there's no anti-venom, because it's not enough that it can kill me. No, I have to die knowing there is zero counterplay. Who balanced this
This is either, depending on your stance on this topic, this is either strong evidence in support of there being a god or not being a god. Take your pick.
If you see this thing T-pose, run! Introducing the
Is this an
anteater,
anteater?
a goofy
Yeah.
little creature native to Brazil, and to understand
it
why the
venomous?
absolute stance on this bad boy is a threat to your health, you're gonna have to understand a little about his lifestyle first. Now listen, I know this may come as a shock to you, but the anteater eats ants.
Ants.
And weighing in at 40 kilos and 1.8 meters in length, he needs to consume upwards of 40,000 ants per day. Now, in order to help him hit his bulking goals, the anteater has a mystery mouse tool stored inside that XL sniffer. A 60 centimeter long tongue, designed to snake its way down the ant colony's tunnel network,
Hey girl, what that
smash
tongue
into
do?
their living room, and abduct the entire cast of Bug's life and convert them into a high-calorie meal. However, what that tongue do only goes so far. As an ant colony can
I've never
extend
had an
up
original
to
thought in my
4
life.
meters underground, and termites live in high-rises, which means our boy here is going to have to do a little excavation to get to the goods. But last I checked, an anteater can't go down to Bunnings and buy a shovel. So how does he dig? Oh, that's simple, with the combat
tongue?
knives he has for claws.
Oh.
Yeah, anteater.
I definitely thought he was about to say that anteaters they freaking just the dirt, just like me in elementary school.
Anteaters are permanently cosplaying Freddy Krueger with a set of 4-inch claws, which, proving the effectiveness of a few inches, can crack through f***ing concrete. Now, these work great for digging, but they are also more than capable of flatlining you. When threatened, the anteater will rear up into a defensive T-pose. This is your sign, if you are smart, to turn around
Disappear.
and
Just leave.
all the way off. If, however, you were, say, some dumbass trophy hunter who really felt the need to try and stab an animal for no reason other than ego,
Did Steve Irwin
the
ever
anteater
wrestle an
will
anteater?
swipe at you with those claws, which are at the perfect height to nail your inner thigh, slip through your flesh like butter, and
Ew.
sever your femoral artery, causing you to bleed out in 2 minutes while the
Ew.
anteater watches you go meet your ancestors. Can you
Nah.
imagine having to explain
From
to your
anteater to
ancestors
ancestor.
who felled woolly mammoths, you got your packed up by the most unserious creature on the planet hitting a T-pose?
Dominance has started. Me at chat.
Australia's scariest spider is hiding.
That was More Parz, analyzing the fictional land of Australia with his super convincing fake Australian accent. We learned so much about the super fake science fiction species of the fake land, Australia. If there is something else that you would like me to react to, leave a comment, follow me on Twitch, or drop it in my Discord. As always, whatever you're going through, we'll get through it together, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. God, I really hate it here.